Hi guys, this video is my first video of my 4 simple basic riding tips to keep you safe and ultimately to go fast on any track day or any racing that you do anywhere. Okay, so body position, why we hang off the bike, how to do it and when is the best time to do it on the bike and the importance, and to help you understand how and why we hang off the bike. Okay, so I'll just get on. Okay, so first and foremost, toes on the ends of the foot pegs at all times. The only time I generally move my toes off the foot peg and put them in the middle is sometimes on my outside leg in the corner, just to give my toes a rest, but generally I will always keep my toes on the end of the foot pegs, simply because it's easier and it gives me better manoeuvrability from side to side. Okay, so always, I would say, be like a boxer, be on your toes and take all your body weight through your toes and through your thighs at all times. Okay, so when moving side to side on the bike, we're constantly going from side to side. All that body movement through any racers or any fast riders is always done through their legs, through the thighs and through the toes. Okay, at no point are they holding on tight to the upper body, holding on tight with your arms. Okay, so from your waist upwards should be nice and relaxed and not gripping the handlebars really tight. There's no benefit from gripping the handlebars really tight. If there was, I would say so. Even at points where I'm braking to the maximum at any point around the circuit into hairpins, there's no benefit from holding the handlebars tight. So it's so important that you relax your upper body and really, I would say, floppy hands, floppy arms. Tell yourself that sometimes when you're out there, just to help you relax your hands and your arms. Okay, so all the body moving from side to side is all done through your toes and just through your thighs. If you're doing this properly, by sort of midday your legs should be aching. Even if you're a regular gym goer and you're pretty fit, it doesn't matter. These legs will get a good workout by getting off the side of the bike on every single corner. Okay, the best time to get off the bike is way before you get to the corner. Okay, so what generally a lot of people do is hit the brakes into corners. Just as they're about to let go of the brake, they get off the bike. Then that is way too late. Okay, so what I generally do, if I'm coming down the straight and I'll sit up, hit the brakes, as soon as I hit the brakes and the bike is stable, that is the best time to get your body off the bike. Okay, now how much do you get off the bike? Well, this is the key question. How much you get off the bike all depends on what speed you're going. Okay, so generally, well, the faster you're going, the more you need to get off the bike. Okay, so the faster you're going, you hang off the bike more, and you're then trying to keep the bike, the angle of the bike up a little bit more. If you're a novice group rider and you're going really steady, it's probably not quite as important to be getting, say, both bum cheeks off the seat and hanging off the bike massively, because the chances are the more body weight you get off the bike will pull you, your body weight will pull you into the corner too fast. Okay, so what we're aiming for is to go into the corners, body off the bike, so minimum 1 bum cheek off, maximum 2 bum cheeks off, depending on your speed. And what we're looking for is, we don't want to go into the corner on maximum lean angle. So when we let go of the brake, we don't want to go in and rely on maximum lean angle to get us around the corner, because straight away you're putting yourself at risk of tucking the front end going into the corner because you're on maximum lean and you're pushing the front tyre, and you're purely just relying on the grip of the tyre, okay, and the heat of the tyre, etc. So we don't want to go there. If you're on maximum lean also, when you do get on the gas to exit the corner, because you're on maximum lean all the time right round the corner, you're then putting yourself on a massive risk of high siding. Okay, we don't want to go in either of them two areas, entering the corner or exiting the corners. We don't want to be in tucking the front territory, and we don't want to be in high side territory. So it's simple as this: whatever body weight you've got, whether you're a small rider like Danny Pedrosa, or you're a tall rider with a bit of weight on like myself, you need to get off the bike. Okay, so the smaller you are and the faster you are, you then need to get off the bike a lot more. So hence why, if ever you've watched Danny Pedrosa on a bike, you see him literally hanging right off the side of the bike. and you can't see him because he's using what little body weight he's got to get off the side of the bike, to pull the weight of that bike where he wants it to go. If he doesn't get off the bike, hang right off it, and he was being lazy and he sat in the middle of the seat, or he just hung off it a little bit, there's no way his little body weight would pull the weight of that MotoGP machine exactly where he wants it to go. Okay, so the riders with a little bit more weight, taller riders like Rossi and whoever, they generally don't have to hang off quite as much as what Pedrosa and the smaller riders do. So I'm using them riders as examples. Okay, what we're looking for, guys, is and ladies, we want our hips and shoulders, ideally your whole body in line. Okay, so if ever you've watched Jonathan Rea, he's probably the best example that does this. He rides with his body really straight, he gets his bum off the bike, and he also gets his whole upper body off the bike. Okay, so what he doesn't do is get his bum off the seat and then twist his body back into the tank with his head and his shoulders back into the tank like this, because what that does then, the weight of your head and your chest back in the bike is defeating the objective of getting the weight of your lower body off the bike. Okay, so we want to keep our body nice and straight, keep your hips and your shoulders in line, and get your whole body off the side of the bike. The more weight you get off the side of the bike, the more effective this is. Okay, now this is another key question, is where do you have your head? Now a lot of people tend to think you've got to have your head real low down here like this, or you can have your head high up like this. Now I much prefer to sit like this and with my head, my chest up here and my head up high. It's a lot more comfortable for one, it gives me a better view of the corner. Having said that, there's nothing wrong with putting your head right down low by the handlebars like this. What does matter is, as long as your head and your chest is off the bike, it's irrelevant whether you have your head down low or you have your head up high up here. Okay, so it's your choice, it's whichever feels comfortable, but all we're aiming for, guys, is the more body weight you get off the bike, the more effective it is. What we don't want to do is focus, if you're first time getting your knee down, you don't want to be hanging off the bike and focusing just on getting your knee down. Now, hanging off the bike, you will get your knee down, I promise you. If you've never got your knee down, you will get your knee down if you hang off the bike enough. To do that, you've got to carry the momentum and the speed with it. Now, what we don't want to do is focus just on getting our knee down round all the corners, because yeah, okay, it's a bit of a buzz when you first do it, but when you start focusing on just getting your knee down, then everything else goes out the window pretty much. All your lines go out the window, and then you'll then start accelerating through the turns and putting yourself in a dangerous position just to keep your knee on the floor. So we get our knees down as a result of hanging off. We don't hang off just to try and look cool and get our knee down, okay? So we need to just understand that it's your body weight, whatever body weight you've got, the more you get off the bike, the more effective it is, and you hang off the bike more the faster you go. Hence why you see these days all the MotoGP riders, even World Superbike and BSB riders, they're now getting their elbows down. That's because the technology in the bikes, the engine, the tyres, the electronics, everything's so much more advanced than what it was years ago, back in the day, say when the 500 GPs was, when the likes of Mick Doohan and Swans, they could ride like that with the bodies twisted and have the head and the weight back in the tanks. These bikes are capable of a lot faster speeds, and therefore the rider input is a lot different, and that's why you see all the modern day racers these days hanging off so much more than they did years ago, touching their elbows down, because they're using what body weight they've got to make all this new technology, the new rubber, the new speed of the bikes, everything. The bikes are going around the track so much faster than what they did back in the day with the 500 GP, so therefore that's why the rider input is different. It's exactly the same for us guys when we're on track doing a track day or racing, but obviously we're not going out trying to get our elbows down. There has been the odd fast riders that I've coached that do get their elbows down, but in general we're not trying to get our elbows down. We just need to hang off the bike enough for the speed that you're going, okay? So as long as we remember that, guys. Also the other thing is to keep yourself forward in the tank, okay? So although side to side, I've always got an extra grip of my outside leg here, which is holding me on the bike. My inside leg is the one that's taking all the body weight, so my upper body is just nice and relaxed. But I always keep myself forward in the tank. The reason for that is when we're entering the corners, your bike is essentially a seesaw. The front and back suspension does this, okay? So when we go into the corner, we want the forks to be compressed down like this. And the best way to help that is keep your body weight forward up against the tank, okay? So by staying up against the tank and having that outside leg as an extra little grip to keep you on the bike, to stop you falling off, is my little comfy and safety net, if you like. As I say, my inside leg is the one that's taking all the body weight. So just remember that. There's no point sitting back in the seat in the corners and leaving a big gap in between your bits and the tank, because that body weight back in the seat is doing absolutely nothing to help the weight over the front, which is what we're looking for, to get the front forks pitched to help the bike turn into the corners. So that's another thing. Keep your body forward as well as hanging off the side of the bike. Okay. Good luck, guys, and as I say, the best way to have your body position judged is ultimately get an instructor, get a rider coach, go out with you, and they can be the judge on whether you're hanging off enough for your speed. You know, getting one of your friends to do it is not ideal, because they won't know if you're hanging off enough or not enough for the speed, and what you don't want to do is go out and have any crashes relying on a best friend's advice. So it's definitely worth paying for some guidance and tuition, whichever track day you go to or wherever. I always say investing in yourself is the best way to move forward and move your riding techniques forward. Okay guys, best of luck.